I met with Lorenzo and Harjit right at the beginning to discuss what they wanted to work on, and from the beginning it was working on friendships. Lorenzo was really motivated to make more friends, and Harjit was seeing lots of difficulties around the social skills and his understanding of friendships. Throughout the first couple of sessions we did some informal assessment activities, and it was clear that actually it's his understanding of emotions, his own emotions and others, that was really having a big impact on those friendship skills. So together with Harjit we were able to narrow it down to some quite specific targets around understanding his own feelings, what they feel like in his body and what kind of situations lead him to feel that way, and then moving on to understanding the thoughts and feelings of other people. So we took from that big topic of friendship skills, we were able to narrow it right down to some specific objectives, which we then worked on throughout the 12 weeks of this block.
So Lorenzo was under the NHS speech and language therapy service, and he had support in his old school as well. So I used to have the reports that used to come through, but I wasn't involved in setting targets, reviews and things like that. It was just pretty much what they identified as the area of need. I actually came across this on Facebook, and at the time I was looking to buy in sort of speech and language support, and it just seemed quite ideal. It was just a good time because there was gaps in his needs, and I just thought that we could sort of work and fill those. I think on the objective plan that was set, I think when he was asked by the therapist, what do you want out of the sessions, he said to make more friends. Yes, that was one of the things that he chose for himself.
Right. So we did a wide range of activities. Lots of them were picture-based or toy-based, so it was highly motivating for Lorenzo, either showing him pictures on the Iris Speaks whiteboard on the platform. So there were pictures from cartoons, there were pictures that Lorenzo had shared, photos of his social situations that he'd been part of. So that was a really nice element where Harjit would upload pictures of Lorenzo's at a party he'd been to, or when he'd been making pizzas with her at home, and then we'd use all of those all of that material in our sessions, so it was really personalised to Lorenzo. We also did lots of things where he would bring in activities or games he liked to play in the house, so teddy bears would quite often come into the sessions, and we'd do some really nice pretend play. So Lorenzo got to use things that he was using in his day-to-day life and share those activities with me.
With some help.
On my own.
Wow, you made that pizza all by yourself?
Yeah.
What were you going to do next to that pizza?
Put it in the oven.
You're going to put it in the oven?
Yeah.
And what was going to happen to it in the oven?
I think one of the really powerful things about working in this way is that Lorenzo was always using items and toys and games, activities, things that he had in the house around him, things that weren't specific therapy materials as such. So instead of me arriving at their house with a bag of tricks and it seeming like I was I had all the skills and resources, we were using things that Harjit could easily bring out in the rest of the week and keep on using with Lorenzo in the same kind of way, and there were things that Lorenzo was already happy and comfortable using. So I think it made Lorenzo and Harjit feel empowered and comfortable with the therapy right from the beginning, and it showed how easy it was to keep those things, those strategies and activities going throughout the week.
Circle the hat. The hat's a very important clue.
A hat.
There's the hat, very good, that's a clue. And if you wear that hat, are you going to work or are you going to be at home?
Go to work.
You're going to work, so definitely.
I also felt like, as a therapist, working in this way, say with Lorenzo and Harjit at home, and being able to see them via the Iris Speaks platform, it's like a window into their world, because I got to see him in his natural environment. Harjit said right from the beginning Lorenzo was very relaxed and acting exactly as he does at home, and I saw some of the challenges that Harjit has in managing Lorenzo, because I was seeing all of the behaviour that she experiences, rather than she was saying, if you go somewhere else then he can be a bit shy and he'll behave in a very different way. So it felt like I could actually see the real Lorenzo, the child that the parent is managing on a day-to-day basis, rather than the child that's aware that someone's watching them to see how they communicate and interact. So it felt like I could give some real support and advice from the very beginning.
Who chose the music?
I did.
So you chose some music. What else did we do in our teddy bear party?
Dance.
We did some dancing.
Games.
And we played some games. So did it feel like I was there having a party with you?
Yes.
Yeah?
Mm.
When you saw me today for the very first time, did it feel like I was a new person or someone you'd known for ages?
I've known for ages.
Really? I felt like I'd known you for ages as well. So did you feel a bit shy and embarrassed seeing me, or was it just normal?
Fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I think what I learned as a parent is that the progress is going to be small steps and it's going to be at his progress rate. So while we would like them to be at this step or at this step, it is going to be pretty much dependent on Lorenzo. So that was something that I learned.
Where we got to by the end of the block, I think it was really interesting to see the progress. I think there was a lot of progress in terms of mum's understanding of the child's communication needs. I felt like the parent training element of the Irish Speaks work is a real benefit, because they're involved with every single session, they're seeing it from the very start to the very finish, and I felt like there was a lot of growth and positive outcomes in terms of the parental understanding of the child's difficulties and needs and how to support them.
I think one of the biggest changes that I saw was a change in self-regulation. So perhaps where there may have been a tendency to have a meltdown in the past or to misbehave, he's beginning to think a little bit more before he then does the next step. So that was very positive.